Hello, good afternoon from Bali. I have my computer, but I wanted to make this video for those of you who are considering starting your handstand practice, or if you've already started your handstand practice and you really don't know where to start. I teach full-time, or I coach full-time here in Bali, multiple classes a week, including handstands and prehab. And so I want to share some of this knowledge that I have with you to hopefully send you off on a better foot or better hand for your practice. So the first thing is, what flexibility may I need, aka what's my range of motion? So this is something you need to ask yourself when you're beginning, because I see a lot of people just kind of like kick up and their shoulders are closed and they don't know how to move with their scapula properly on their upper thoracic, and this is how you end up getting injured. So what I mean by ROM is your ability to bring your arm up overhead. Ideally in a handstand, it would be at 180 degrees up overhead with your arm. If you're a gym goer, aka you do a lot of strength-based stuff, not a lot of end range stuff, then this is crucial for you to work on, because you might get injured. When you're getting your joint at end range and it doesn't have sufficient strength or flexibility, then you're putting stress elsewhere on the body, and this is how you end up getting injured. So finding this out is a good way. You literally get your back at the wall, keep the ribs in, lift the arm up. You're like, ooh, I'm stuck here. Then that would let you know to work on shoulder flexion. I will add more videos on what to do in future videos, but to give you a sort of like overview what to look for. I would say shoulders when you're beginning is probably the number one. Eventually you do want to work as well on hip extension, just so that you can really get a nice line. I'm a fan of an aesthetic line, and also just allows you to work a lot less hard when you do so, when you get into proper alignment. The other thing, so the second question that you would ask yourself is, where may I be missing strength? And I want to explain that flexibility can still be strength. You're just, what kind of flexibility are we talking about? And specifically for handstand, you're working on two kinds of flexibility: a static active, which is here, static active flexibility, which is arm up overhead and being able to hold it at the end range of your shoulder. And then also dynamic active, so the action of kicking up and being able to push through the hands to open up the shoulders. So if you're hypermobile or naturally more flexible, or you just, the shoulders are open when you do this wall exercise, then this is where it's imperative that you work on strength so that you don't get injured. Things like rows, dips, overhead press, any external rotation to help support your rotator cuff muscles. It's really important to get everything in the shoulder, the mover muscles, the stabilizing muscles on board to supporting your shoulder and your arm up overhead. Another thing is, building the strength will also help you if you're hypermobile, because your proprioception tends to be a little bit different. It has to do with the amount of mechanoreceptors that you have. And so if you want to get better at balancing or where you are in space, then building the strength of your tissue, of your muscles will help you with that. If you're already on the tighter side of things, then you can still work, like I said, on your flexibility, but your active range. So a lot of it is lengthening the lats, letting go of the pecs, like all of the muscles that create this kind of like holding in so that you can get your arm up overhead. I will say that usually people that are stronger naturally, not always, will have an easier time balancing, because you're kind of just like a piece of muscle, so you can throw the weight up, but it still doesn't mean that your line will be a good line. I was going to say something else, but I'll say it will be a good line. And when I say good line, it's like, of course, aesthetically it looks nice, but also a good line will support everything in your body, like your shoulder, working with your scapula on your upper thoracic. Let me just see. Good. And then the third one, a third question to ask yourself is, how well can I stay unattached and not let my lack of success or failure define me? And this is where growth mindset is so valuable, because I see many people begin and then you meet yourself very rapidly. And it's unfortunate because if you allow yourself to stick up with it a little bit longer, or just get the right drills to be able to get that skill, it can make such a huge difference. This is where getting a coach is super helpful. But yeah, learning to celebrate the small little wins. I mean, at first you're not going to be able to get a full handstand. And so if the entry is your celebration, celebrate that. If learning how to use your scapula on your upper thoracic and learning how to elevate and shrug properly is your celebration, celebrate that. Having leg tension, a little bit of balance, 5-second balance, like everything you do, work with yourself and celebrate it, because the brain and our nervous system is always taking in information. So the more you can celebrate, the more you're building those pathways to duplicate every time you come back to it. And yeah, that's it. So these three elements are really, really, really great starting point, so that you don't end up practicing for 2 years or a bunch of times and then you just realize you're getting nowhere. So get adequate flexibility. You don't need to practice your handstand to work on your flexibility. Same with strength. When you're strength training, think in your head, okay, what skills am I trying to achieve? How can I support it with my strength training? And then third thing is an attitude. And I think this reflects most of us, like kind of like our entire life anyway. But learning to really like meet yourself in a supportive, kind, not lazy way can really help you to progress a lot quicker than if you're just going to beat yourself up the entire time. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, please comment below and stick around as I continue sharing all of these things that I teach regularly online with you. See you soon.